All right. So let's go and let's start adding in our items here. So first of all, let's add in our function. We'll call this spawn LBL main, and we'll do exactly that. We'll go to LBL main is equal to sk label node, and we'll give it a font name. You can pick whatever font you want. I'm going to add in Futura personally. Let's go to LBL main dot position is equal to cg point, and we're going to go and say cg rect get mid x self dot frame, and we're going to go to cg rect get mid y self dot frame. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to lbl main dot font color is equal to off black color. We're going to go to lbl main dot font size is equal to 55. That's probably pretty good. And we're going to go to lbl main dot text is equal to move blocks to goal. Now I have a funny feeling that 55 is going to be too big, so let's move that back down to 40. All right, and then we're going to go to lbl main dot z position is equal to -1. Self dot add child is equal to player. Okay, and by player, I actually mean LBL main. So there we go. Let's go and let's add in our player here. So let's add in a function. We'll say this is spawn player. And we're going to go to player is equal to sk sprite node. And we'll add in a color. We'll make this off white color. And the size will be player size. We're going to go to player dot size is equal to player size. The reason why is that if you want to add in your own art, that is already there for you. Let's add in a player dot position is equal to cg point, and we're going to call the cg rect get mid x mid. All right, and by the way, the cg point, you have to make sure it says cg rect get mid x self dot frame, and we might as well put this exactly in the center. cg rect get mid y self dot frame. We're going to go to player, and we're going to do player dot physics body is equal to sk physics body, and we're going to do rectangle of size. It's going to be player dot size. Okay, and let's add in some extra space here. And what we're also going to do is we're going to add in player dot physics body dot affected by gravity is equal to false. Player dot physics body dot allows rotation is equal to false. Player dot physics body dot dynamic is equal to true, and then player dot name is equal to player name, and then we're going to go to self dot add child, and it's going to be player. Perfect. So what that is, and we'll also fix this up here. So what that is going to do is that the player is going to move the blocks in, and we're not adding any kind of category bitmask or contact test bitmasks because we don't need to check the collisions. There will be collisions because the dynamic is true, but what there is not is we're not checking the collisions there. So let's go ahead and let's add some more items here. We'll call this spawn collectible, and we'll spawn the collectibles here. What we'll do is we'll say let random x is equal to int arc for random underscore uniform, and we will say that the arc for random uniform will be, let's say, 450 plus 300, and what that's going to do is that that is going to allow us to, it will allow us to put it in between 400 and 300. And what we'll do is we'll make sure that this is 500 for the Y, and we'll say 150. So that's probably pretty good. Let's go ahead, let's say collectible is equal to sk sprite node. Okay, we'll add in a color here. Well, this is off white color, and the size will be collectible size, and you can always go collectible dot size is equal to collectible size. All right, we'll say collectible dot physics body is equal to sk physics body, and we'll say rectangle size. It's going to be collectible dot size, and we'll say collectible dot physics body dot affected by gravity is equal to false. Collectible dot physics body dot allows rotation is equal to false. Collectible dot dynamic or dot physics body dot dynamic is equal to true. And yes, we'll make that equal to true. And we'll say collectible dot category or dot physics body dot category bit mask is equal to physics category dot, and then we'll say it's collectible. Then we'll say collectible dot physics body dot contact test bit mask is equal to physics category dot, and then we'll say, it doesn't really matter here, we'll say bottom block. What we'll also do is we'll say collectible dot name is equal to collectible name. We're going to go to self dot add child, and we'll say it's collectible. All right, let's save that here, and let's go ahead and let's fix that. And actually, it's supposed to be this here, and then it's going to give me an error, but I find that easier than typing it out personally. All right, the next thing we need to do is spawn the top block and spawn the bottom block. So let's add a function. We'll call this spawn top block, and we'll make that equal to top block is equal to sk sprite node, and we'll add in the color will be off black color, and the size will be block size, and we have one block size for both. So top block dot size is equal to block size. Perfect. Let's go to top block dot position is equal to cg point, and that cg point is going to be two things here. It's going to be the cg rect get mid x self dot frame, and so that puts it in the middle, and the y here we'll just say is cg rect get, and then we'll say max y self dot frame, and for now let's just subtract 100. We'll probably need to change that later though. So we'll go to top block dot physics body is equal to sk physics body, and we'll do top block dot size. We'll go to top block dot physics body dot affected by gravity is equal to false. Top block dot physics body dot allows rotation is equal to false. Top block dot physics body dot dynamic is equal to true, and then top block dot physics body dot category bit mask is equal to physics category dot top block, and then top block dot physics body dot contact test bit mask is equal to physics category dot, and then we'll say collectible. Top block dot name is equal to top block name. Perfect. And then we're going to say self.addChild, and we're going to add in the top block. All right. And we'll fix it with top block size. And we're going to add another function here. We'll call this spawn bottom block. Okay. And you know, it's almost the exact same, so we could probably get away with copying and pasting it. All right. And we'll go to bottom block. Just paste this in here. Now, there's a couple things we have to change, of course. Just make sure that everything is bottom block. And perfect. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Except for we're going to go to min y and we're going to add 100. Okay. And that pretty much wraps that up. Let's go up to the top here all the way to our did move to view. Let's go to self.background colors equal to orange custom color. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spawn the LBL main, and then we're also going to spawn the player, spawn the top block, and then spawn the bottom block. We're not going to spawn the collectibles because we're going to need to add in some extra functionality to do that. All right, this concludes the tutorial.